Does your business need a CRM system? Maybe you're currently muddling through with loads of spreadsheets and things being tied together, and you just need a system. However, you don't want to pay for something expensive like Dynamics 365 or Salesforce. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build a CRM system using Microsoft SharePoint. This system will contain everything you need, including tracking company accounts, the contacts for those accounts, as well as any orders that your customers are making, and any activities such as meetings or phone calls. Also, tracking the tasks which maybe come out the back of those activities. My name's Dougie Wood, and I'm a Microsoft MVP. I spent the last 20 years building out solutions like this for businesses all over the world. So if you need professional support building out a system, you can get in contact with me in the link in the description below.
Be showing you how to build a CRM system, and I'm going to use my QMS SharePoint site for this because I need a basic CRM system in order to actually manage complaints that come from customers as part of our quality management. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by building a accounts list. So this is our kind of customers account. So call this customer accounts. And basically this is just going to be the high level kind of information that we have on our customer. Now you can have whatever fields you like in here. I'm actually going to change the title of this just to call this say company name. And then what I'm going to do is add a couple of extra fields. So I want to have an ID. Now, as I say, this is actually something which is automatically built into a SharePoint list. I just need to surface it inside of my view. So I'm going to add my ID, and I'm just going to add that as the first thing that's inside of my accounts list. Just so, say for example, if there was two companies which had very similar sounding names, when I'm referring to them internally, I could even refer to them based on an ID number, which would be completely unique to that particular company account. Next up, we might want to do things like having industries. So this customer accounts list could be used for all sorts of different things, not just complaints management, but it could be used by marketing teams to generate campaigns and things like that. So some high level information on the customer is probably going to be quite useful. So let's put industry, and maybe it might be, let's say, manufacturing. Oops, help if I can actually spell. Maybe it is legal. It could be professional services or financial services. So let's just put services in here for now. And obviously we can add as many of the different types of industries as we like within here. Next up, we probably want to have things like their address. So let's just put address. It could be a postal address. Remember, all of this information is just at the company level. We are going to create a contact specific level as well. So I'm not going to put in things like phone numbers, email address, and things like that at this level because I'm going to put them at a lower level. What I think we probably would have though is we'd probably have an account manager per customer, and this would be someone internally to the organization. So we're going to tag someone's name against individuals. It might also be worthwhile using some of the other default fields that you get inside of your kind of SharePoint list. So things like when they were created, so we can see that would allow us to kind of filter by and find our oldest customers that were in this list for the longest period of time. So of course we can add as many different columns in here as you like. So essentially, there's no sort of massive limitation to this, but I'm just going to keep it really simple for now. I'm going to add in a few rows down here as well. So I'm just going to pause the video whilst I'm adding some data, just so you can see what it looks like. So there we go. We've now got our customers accounts list. As I say, you could add any additional fields in here you wanted to. And now we've got them in this list, we can say filter in nice ways. So say, for example, if I was an account manager, I just want to see all the accounts which are assigned to me. I can then easily apply a filter over the top of this. And just filter by the ones which are assigned to me, which just shows me the green tech energy is applied to me. So the next thing that we want to do is actually now create some contacts that we can associate to these accounts. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and create a list by going to site contents. Then I'm going to go and create a brand new list, like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select on list, and I'm going to call this my contacts. Call it customer context, just so it's clear what it is. Again, it's automatically adding it to the top of my navigation bar, but I'm going to tidy all this up at the end. I'm going to get rid of all of that so we don't actually have all of that. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to change the title actually just to call this our contact name. Then what I'm going to do is add in a lookup column, and I'm going to be looking up the account that we were talking about before. So this is the list that we created, our customer accounts list. So we select on our customer accounts list, and we're just going to call this company name. And again, we're just going to make sure we're pulling through the title. So this gives us our company name, obviously, which will be a lookup to that list we had before. I might just shorten that down just a little bit. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to want to add in a bit more kind of information about this person. So we're going to have maybe a first name, last name. Now you could split this out into, say we've got contact name here, so you might want to say have a column for first name, last name. But I'm happy with contact name for this period of time. We might have a job title. So actually, who are they? Like so. We might want to have a say yes no field on whether they can approve costs themselves or not, whether they're a kind of key decision maker. So maybe we want to call this, if they're a decision maker, yes or no. Maybe default it to no, and we could always change that. So just make sure that we've got a couple of options there. Then we would want to have some contact information. So more than likely we would want to have their phone number. We would want to have their email address. Like that. Maybe there might be some additional things. So CRM systems with contacts, it's quite useful sometimes to have in here maybe a bit of information on that person in terms of their hobbies, their interests, things like that. So I've seen CRM systems before where actually it's been something that maybe their football team that they're a fan of or something like that. And if then say there was a competition where there's some tickets that came available, then you could search this list to see what football teams people are interested in. I've seen that type of thing in CRM systems before. Some general notes probably wouldn't go amiss either within here. But maybe let's just say for now, preferred contact method. So again, this is something, if you're trying to get hold of somebody, it might be that they prefer to be emailed, they might prefer phone, they might prefer text, or Teams, for example. There's loads of ways that potentially someone might prefer to actually be contacted. So again, I'm just going to pause the video whilst I create a few different contacts in here, just so you can see what this looks like. The simplest way actually to do this, you can either use the edit grid view, which basically puts into spreadsheet mode. And even if you've got an Excel spreadsheet at the moment, as long as the columns are in the right order, you can always copy and paste from Excel into here. Or I'm just going to click on add new item. And then basically what I'm going to do in here, just type in, for example, contact name. So I'm going to say Joe Blogs, company name, and then this is where we would actually select from the companies that we added into that list just a second ago. So let's say, for example, our first contact will be Sarah Johnson. Company, let's select Apex Metals. Job title, potentially she is the procurement manager. So put that in here. I want to say yes, she is the decision maker. Phone number, we'll just make up a phone number, put that in there. Just make up an email address as well. I'll have that in there. Preferred contact. Let's say she actually prefers to be contacted via email. We can add any attachments in here as well, so anything relevant to that particular contact. And then what I'm going to do, as I say, is pause the video whilst I just create a few more for you. So there we go. We've now got our customers. So we can easily within here filter. So say, for example, I was looking for a particular contact from a company. I was looking for Apex. I can filter this down and I can see 2. And now I can see the decision maker actually is Sarah, but actually Emma is not a decision maker. So this can help inform any decisions that we make going forwards. The next part of a CRM system is we want to be able to track the activities. So what maybe are our salespeople, our account managers, or customer success team doing with our customers. So what we can do with this is create an activity or task type of list. Now, what I'm going to do is actually just go back to site contents, And within here, what I'm going to do is create a brand new list. So click on new, click on lists. And in fact, there's probably going to be a template for this type of thing down here. So it's worth just double checking what templates you have, just to see if it fits anything. But actually, I'm just going to create something completely from scratch here. And I'm going to call this my activities. Oh, hang on, that's wrong. Let's just put it like this, and then click on create. So what I'm then going to do is I'm going to link this to the company as well. So linking it back to that account that it relates to. So this is going to be a lookup, and it's going to look up our customer contacts. Sorry, not customer contacts, customer accounts, and it's going to pull through the title for them. I don't think we actually need this title field. We don't really need a title field for an activity necessarily, because we want to make this as quick as possible. So I'm just going to choose to actually hide the title field. We don't need that. We've got company name. So the next thing that we would want to do is actually have maybe the contact that it relates to. So we're going to say lookup. We're going to look up the customer contact. So this is customer contacts, and again, just their title. But what we might do is we might also want to choose to pull through some certain information if we wanted to. But for now, I'm happy just to leave it as the actual contact name. Cool. The next thing then is we're going to select what type of contact was it. So this is obviously going to be things like email, Teams, phone call, visit. There's loads of obviously different things that we can put into this box in here. Then once we're happy with that, click on save. Oops. Just put changes to activity. Didn't like the name type because I think that's already a system field. So once we've got that, you could add in things like subject or title, description or notes or things like that. What I would probably just do is I would probably choose a bit of text and just say like what was the purpose of the call, just so someone could just see, or the purpose of the email, something like that, just so people could quickly see at a glance when we summarize in our CRM system what actually it is that activity was for. I also think it's worth using some of the system fields to actually show who. So the created by field will be the date and time that an item goes into here, and also the created by is who it's created by. So you could see basically who the company was contacted, who from that company was contacted, what the activity was it a phone call, was it an email, the purpose of it, and when it happened, and who actually reached out. So again, I'm just going to add in a new item into this list. Again, we don't actually need that title column, so I'm just going to get rid of that for now. And what I'm going to do is specify the company name. So in this case, it'll be Green Tech. Contact we'll say is David Miller. The activity is a phone call, and the purpose of it was basically a follow-up call to discuss some issues with something. Follow-up call to discuss issues with a shipment. There we go. My Wi-Fi just dropped out there, so it caused a bit of an issue. But there we go. We've got it saved and it's popped in. So what I'm going to do now is just add a couple more records into here, just so you can see what this would look like. I'm just going to pause the video just to save you that time. So there we go, we've got our activities list now created. And again, we could filter this. So say, for example, we're only interested in activities with a particular company. Let's say, for example, green tech energy. We could filter that down and see we've got 2 phone calls here with David Miller and what the purpose of those were. We could also look by, although it's just me that's created all of these, we could look at activity based on employees and just say, okay, just show me ones where Dougie has been involved with activities with some of our customers. So there we go. We've then got our activities list. So from activities, what might come is some tasks. So there might be some follow-up tasks, say following on from a visit. It might be that there's something that we need to produce a report on to provide to our customer. If you're interested in this system, then we do deploy it at a fixed price to our customers. Get in touch for a free demo using the link in the description below. So let's create a simple task list, which then will assign those tasks to that particular company. So going into our lists, we're going to go into here, create list, and this is going to be our customer tasks. Now it's worth mentioning as well that all of this at the moment is just purely data. It's just SharePoint lists that we're creating. But of course, we could use Power Automate to automate some of these things, follow-ups, chasers, approvals, things like that. So if there's anything like that that you need, you can get in contact using the link in the description below, and we can help you achieve that. So what we're going to do is now add in some more columns. So we've got our customer tasks. So a title would make sense, but let's actually look up a couple of things. So I think we should be looking up the company name. So what company this applies to. So we're going to say customer accounts and the title. But in the same way, I also think that we should probably be looking up actually the contact from that account as well. So maybe let's put customer contact, and again, look up customer contacts, again, the title field. We should also be assigning the task internally. So we're going to say this is assigned to, and we're going to say, yeah, we're going to have a description for this task. And then we're going to have a status for it. Like so, and that might be not started, in progress, complete. Maybe just change the colors around on this just to reflect this a little bit better. Default is probably not started when the task first hits here. Again, we could add all sorts of different things in here if you wanted to track things like a priority, the due dates of when things are supposed to be done by, notes and things like that. But in reality, I think these are the basic fields that you're going to need. And of course, as I say, we could add in here things like a due date field, and if it goes past that, we could have a workflow which automatically goes and emails the assigned to person to say, hey, there's a task which is overdue. You need to go and do something about this. So let's just add in, for example, in here a due date, just so we could do this further down the line. Now, you could also have some predetermined workflows which say that a task must be complete within a certain period of time. Maybe it's based on a severity. So it could be, say, if it was critical, you would have to have the due date would be set within a few days. If it was maybe a minor issue, maybe it would give you a couple of weeks to resolve it. So we could build those as workflows directly into SharePoint as well. So again, I'm just going to pause the video whilst I just create some additional tasks in here just to show you what this looks like. So there we go. We've now got a range of tasks which align to our customers. So we could look this up based on who they're assigned to. So maybe I would just want to look at tasks which are assigned to myself, and that will then filter down those particular tasks. Maybe I'm looking at this from the perspective of a customer. I could look by, say, green tech and see what tasks we have pending for them as well. Now we're going to pull all this through onto our CRM dashboard page in a minute. But first, we've got one other thing we want to create, and that is our products list, so that we can tag what products our customers actually have. It just makes it easy if we got a phone call from them, we can quickly look into what products that they have, Maybe you could even have a separate list for orders, which again link to those products. But again, I'm just going to keep this really simple, just so we kind of understand actually what that customer actually buys from us on a regular basis. So under new, I'm going to say list, and I'm going to create a product list. Click on create, and I'm just going to keep this really, really basic. So the title, let's say that this is going to be the product name or service or whatever it is that you offer. We probably do want an ID. Again, sometimes products names can be very similar and can be misheard. So actually having an ID, which is unique, will make that difference as well. So I'm just going to add in the default ID that comes with this SharePoint list. So we've now got ID, we've got our product name. We might want to create a category for this just to make it easier to kind of filter and find. So this might be, let's say for example, raw material. If we're pretending we're a manufacturer, there's obviously, you can completely customize this to whatever you need it to be. Or service. There we go. Maybe we have a bit of a description of that product. We probably want to have a product owner. So this is the person that you would probably reach out to if you had any questions about that specific product. Let's move that over here. Save that as we go along. And then any kind of notes and things like that as well. Maybe costs or whatever it needs to be. But essentially all we're using for our CRM, we want to at a high level know what products it is that our customer actually has. So again, I'm just going to pause this whilst I just go and create some of those products in this list. There we go. We now have our list of products. We've got the ID numbers, also be referred to as a SKU, the product name, the category, description, and the product owner as well. Again, we can filter by this, we can sort by this, but essentially we want to tag these now against our customers. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our customer accounts. And within here, what we're going to do is we're going to look up, so add a column, and we're going to look up the products. In fact, I thought of a better way of doing this. So if I was to do it in a column against the customer accounts, it would only be like a one-to-one relationship, which means that only the customer, say Green Tech, could only buy one product from us. But instead, what we want to do is probably have like an orders type of list or purchases, so that actually they can have a one-to-many relationship where we can have multiple purchases per customer. So let's just roll back a little bit and go back into site contents. And we're going to create a brand new list. So we're going to have list in here. And let's just say this is our orders list. We're going to make this really simple. So we will use, we don't need the title field. We don't need a title field for this. So we're going to hide this. What we are going to have though is we will want to have the ID field. The reason being is because, again, it just makes it much easier to kind of refer back to a particular order or something like that. We're going to have a lookup. So we're going to look up our customer name, or I should say company name. It's probably clearer. And that is our customer accounts title. And then we're going to look up our products. So this is what's going to link our products back to basically back to the companies themselves. So now all we need to do is actually say, so ignore the title field. So again, just get rid of that. Just get rid of that title field. Don't need it. Let's just refresh. So we can get rid of that title field. So company name Green Tech will say that they have electronic control module, but they also have a gear assembly they also have say steel sheets from us as well. Now again, we will probably want to add a few more for different customers. So we've got some different customers in here. There we go. But now if I wanted to, I could quickly filter and see all the products that they've purchased. Now, we could add in here additional fields as well, like when they purchased it, maybe how much they purchased it for, all these different things related to that particular order that we could tie back to as well if we wanted to. But I'm just going to keep it really simple for this point in time. Now we have everything we need now to put together a simple CRM page to pull together all of our customer information. So what I'm going to do is just go back to the home page of my site. Again, forget the fact this is QMS. This technically could be any SharePoint site under any scenario. I'm just going to create a page. It's going to be a blank page. And actually, I just want it to be completely blank. I don't think I even need to have this top banner area here, to be totally honest with you. But maybe let's just make it plain. And then we're going to put this, our CRM here, get rid of my name down there. Let's just get rid of this section. And then what we're going to do is we need to add in all of the lists that are involved in this. So we're going to have our customer accounts. We are going to have our customer contacts. We are going to have, whoops, just press the wrong button there. So we're going to have another list. So we've got customer accounts, got customer contacts, customer tasks. We're going to have our products. Now we don't actually need the products here because we don't have the relationship. What we do need though is we need the orders, because that will show us the products that that customer has actually purchased. So we've got our orders, basically we've got our accounts, we've got our contacts, we've got our activities. No, we do not. So let's add our activities in here. Activities, tasks, we've got that. We've got our orders, our products. Now also what I'm going to do in a separate video, because it's going to be slightly different, is I'm also going to add a follow-up to this for complaints as well. So make sure that you look for a video after this that I'll link in the description below, which will be all about complaints management. But basically we'll be using this CRM system. So there'll be an extra module on here for complaints as well that I'm going to add on to this shortly afterwards. Now what we need to do, and this is the slightly boring bit, we need to basically tie everything underneath customer accounts back to this. So when we select on one of these accounts, it's going to filter all of the rest of it down here to show us exactly what we want to see. So what I'm going to do first is just select on the customer contacts, and under dynamic filtering, I'm going to select that I want the column in customer contacts to filter by will be the company name. Then the list or library containing the filter will be the customer accounts, and then basically we want to filter by the company name. Click on apply, and then what you'll see is when I select green tech, now, oops, something's gone slightly wrong here. Do we not have a contact for green? Oh, customer accounts, customer contact. I can see what's gone wrong here. That company name is looking up the wrong thing. So let's just jump back a step. I'm just going to publish this, and I'm going to go to company name here, column settings. In fact, let's just jump directly into the list because it'll be easier to do this. This actually, I believe, is looking up the wrong thing. So if I go into column settings, edit, it is looking up the suppliers, not the customers. So we want customer accounts instead. So we change that, and there we go. You can see it's sprung into life with a couple of options here. Not too sure where in the video I went wrong here. Please let me know in the comments where I went wrong. But there we go. We've now got our customers instead. So we've got this. So let's just jump back a stage. Let's go back to that page we were on a second ago, CRM page. And let's just see now if I select green tech, there we go, that's worked. If you're interested in this system, then we do deploy it at a fixed price to our customers. Get in touch for a free demo using the link in the description below. So let's keep doing this for all the other kind of web parts on the page. Scroll down. So actually I'm going to change this from customer contacts to just contacts and make it simple. I'm going to change this to be accounts. And then we've got activities. So again, we just need to change this so it's dynamic. The column that we're filtering by is company name. It's going to be the accounts list that we filter by, and we're looking for company name in this. And again, we're just going to do this. I reckon, yeah. Problem is, if you click away too quickly and don't click on apply, it actually gets rid of it, and that's one of the other things that you can end up coming unstuck with if you're not careful. So just make sure you're clicking that apply button down at the bottom, otherwise you'll realize that it's just not taking effect, which is something that I do far too often because I run at 1,000,000 miles per hour. So we're looking for column, company name, accounts, company name, can apply that, orders, again, dynamic, company name, accounts, company name. Right, so hopefully now when we select green tech across the top, filter by green tech, filter by green tech, filter by green tech, filter by green tech. Fantastic. We've got a really good overview now. Now, the final things I want to do is I just want to tidy this up a little bit. To me, this looks, to be honest, it just looks a bit overwhelming. There's too much information on this page. I want to be able to dive in and see more information if I wanted to. But I think this is just a little bit overwhelming, to be honest, just at a high level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a cut down version of each of these to basically make sure that we don't actually have to have everything on the page. So by clicking on see all, it's going to take me back into this list. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a brand new view. So I'm going to save view as, I'm going to just call this my CRM view. And things like I don't really need the industry in this view. So I'm going to hide that. I'm going to hide the address. I probably don't need to have that in the quick view on the page. Probably don't need to have the account manager, to be honest with you, in this view, nor do I need to care about when it's created either. I just want a really simple, probably don't even need the ID, if I'm totally honest with you. Again, all of this could be completely customized how you want it to be. But there we go, we've got my CRM view. Now, the reason why I've done that is when I go back now to my page, hopefully the back button works. Got it on here. Now, what will happen is if I then edit the page and then I go onto accounts and change the view to CRM, hopefully, when I click on apply, that is, you can see it will suddenly shorten this right down. I don't need all this other bits and bobs and stuff and whatever across the top. Now, you can also choose whether you want to say show the command bar or not. Now, I would probably say for things like accounts, contacts, things like that, it's up to you. If you want to save space, you could remove all of these, or but the problem is you would then have to go into each individual list. Every time you want to add a new account, a new contact, a new activity, you'd have to go into those new areas. So what I would say instead is probably just leave that there. But again, totally up to you, however you want to do that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to add a new section to the page. So I've got these 3 columns. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag that in here. Now, you can see it has got a bit of a scroll bar, which is the only thing. But I think if I was to say get rid of the command bar, I wonder if that will tidy things up a little bit. No, it has not. So it might be just because this page is a little bit cramped until I republish it. There we go. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted it to do. So I've then got my accounts in here. what I would then probably want to do is create a new view for each one of these things. So again, I only need to know the contact name. I don't need to know the company name because I've already got it filtered. Probably don't need their job title. Probably would want to know their decision maker or not, and I would want to know their phone number and their email and their preferred contact. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to jump back into that library to create a CRM view of my contacts. And again, we can always jump backwards and forwards and see the full view if I wanted to, but I don't have to display that on my CRM dashboard page. So I want their name. I don't need, let's choose to, which columns we don't want. So we don't need to know the company name because we're going to show that. We probably don't need to know their job title at a high level. We probably do need to know that the decision maker, phone number, email, and preferred contact as well. So let's apply all of that. Bring that as close in as we can, so that we're not necessarily doing something like that. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to save this view. And again, we're going to go back to that page that we were just creating before, our CRM dashboard. In fact, I quite like that name. I'm going to edit the page and call it CRM Dashboard. I like that. I'm going to have CRM Dashboard. So what I'm then going to do is I'm going to drag my contacts up here. Now, by the looks of things, I'm going to have to change this layout slightly. I'm probably going to have to go for a 1/3 left, 1/3 right, and just see if this will then fit. Now, I do need to change that view. So I'm just going to select on this web part, and I'm going to change this to my CRM view of this particular thing. Now, when I click on publish, let's just see if it all fits on the page nicely or not. It's just getting cut off, isn't it? It's just getting cut off there, which is a little bit annoying. But you can now see when I click on, say, green tech, I can quickly see the people on the right hand side there. A nice easy way. It's also showing me it's green tech on here. I can see the activities and the customer tasks. So again, I'm just going to create a cut down version of this. So let's create a new view. And I'm going to get rid of the company name again because we don't need that, because we already know on that CRM dashboard which customer it is that we're looking at. We don't need the contact, or no, we do need the contact actually. Activity type, yes. Probably we don't need the created by. We can just see those core things. And then again, if we go back to the page, that we created. So we go back to our CRM dashboard now. Probably just need to refresh that page actually. So it goes back to how we look, like so. Then what we're going to do is scroll down, and again, under activities, we're just going to select the CRM view that we created for that. Like so. Let's just change the layout of this. I'm thinking we probably need a 2 columns width, something like that. And then customer tasks, let's drag up here so we can see what customer tasks are at play. Again, let's just have a little look to see how this sits on the page. We might need to drop some of the customer tasks in here. Again, we don't need all that kind of information necessarily, maybe just the title. So let's hide some of these fields. Show hide. What we're going to do is remove, oops, don't know why that's coming up. We probably want the status, probably don't need the due date, probably don't need the description. Don't need the customer contact or company name, so let's just cut it right down like this, so at a glance. Because remember, we can always jump in and see the full view of the item at any time as well. So I'll show you that in a second. So let's just go back now to our dashboard, CRM dashboard, like so. Edit this page. go down now to our, where's it gone? Customer tasks. There we go. So we're going to go down to here. We are going to select our CRM view, our customer tasks. Click on republish and just have a look. How does that look? That's looking much better indeed. And then the final thing is we just got our orders, so we can see what orders that we have. And again, we probably don't need all of that, to be totally honest, at a high level glance. So again, let's just create our CRM view of this. We don't need to know the ID number. So let's just, and we don't need to know the company name either. We just need to know what products that particular customer has purchased. So save that view. Let's go back now to our CRM dashboard. Now I'd like that, I think, at the top of the page, but I don't know how I'm going to fit that in with the contacts. I think, to be honest, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this right down. I don't think we need the phone number, the email, or anything like that, because we can see that when we open up the contact. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to be a 3 columns. Now you can see how my brain works. I don't necessarily map everything out 100% before I build it. Sometimes I'm just building things as I'm kind of going along, just to see what kind of fits and what works best. But you can see I can move this around. I can put the orders up on here. I'm going to change that to be the CRM view of that. Click on republish. Now I know I'm going to need to change these contacts here. So I just think I need the contact name and whether they're a decision maker or not, to be totally honest with you. I think if we wanted to make a phone call or email someone, we would just open the record, the list item. We wouldn't necessarily need to see all of that information at a glance. So again, we don't need the company name, don't need the job title. We need to know the decision maker. And there we go. We've got something that looks a little bit like this. So let's just save that view. I don't know, I've got 2 views now called CRM. Let's just delete that one before it gets confusing. And then we're going to go back. So we're going to go back to our CRM dashboard. Hopefully, once the page loads a little bit. There we go. I'm going to refresh the page because there we go. It just needs to catch up a little bit. So then I'm going to change my contacts now to the CRM view, like so. And then hopefully we should have it so we can select, for example, a account, so green tech, and then it's automatically filtered the contacts. It's filtered the orders, so we know what products that they purchase. We know the activities, so we can see the phone calls that have been made. We can see the tasks which we need to follow up with as well. And say, for example, if I want to make a phone call to the decision maker, all I'd have to do is click on the item, Sarah, and I can see her full information: job title, decision maker, phone number, email address, any comments. So again, you could use this as like a little activity area if you really wanted to, but I actually prefer just to break it out so you can see it further down here. Some final things as well that I would do. And I should also mention as well, if you are interested in this system, there's a link in the description below where you can contact us and we can talk to you about how we can deploy this system for your organization. The final things I'll just do, I say turn off the comments feed down here. So we've got something like this. And there we go. We've got something now. It's like really simple. We've got accounts, contacts, and maybe I might just tidy it up just a little bit, to be honest. The colors are not particularly easy to see, I think. So maybe let's have a little look at some different designs. I don't really like the boxes, unfortunately. So maybe we just need like a lighter color like that, which might make it just a bit easier to see the different boxes, like so. Just makes them stand out a little bit better. Again, let's just put something a slightly lighter color. And it just makes it a bit easier then just to see what's going on this page. So we can see the accounts, contacts, the orders, and it's all filtering nice and easy as well. So I say filter it down, and it's just going to change on screen in live time all the information that we have. You can even say jump between these different accounts nice and easily just with that tick box.
If you enjoyed that video, please do subscribe. Also, continue to watch me build out a QMS in SharePoint by clicking on the video on the screen now. See you there.